Hello there, my friends, and happy weekend. It's Kate in the Nest, and here I am again. Yep, instead of working today, I've been stitching, and I started last night with you. And thank you for cheering me up and for your lovely wishes. I I just hadn't stitched enough, I think, this week, so I was feeling like I was missing it, and with your support and the encouragement of my husband, I've just been playing. So today it's going to be, yeah, quite a surprising project to show you. But before we start into that, just checking with you. How are things going? Busy, I imagine. I'm hoping that, yeah, you've got something to do, as I always do, because we are going to take a bit of an exploration. But first of all, I wanted to review. If you've been watching my previous couple of videos, I'm on a bit of a swan, a swan bend at the moment, or the bend in the river. I've always loved swans, you know that, and I told the story about this piece. Well, I actually started it in a different shape, and it became overnight this piece, which I'm calling a swan shrine. Now, it can still be worn as a badge, but I actually think I like this idea as interchangeable, doing lots of things with it. It could be a pocket, but first of all, just to acknowledge that this is the first swan that Vanessa made. I've made my own since. In fact, I made a couple, but we don't need to look at those. I put this swan onto blanket. I think I'm up to three pieces of blanket now, and she just kept developing. There's the little beaded bits there with some fluoro, a little bit of silk here and there, and more flowers. So my my swan is not pretending to be in the garden. She is having, oh, like in the water, she's having, because that would be blue, she's having a lovely time in the garden. There's the one dangle that's left. Long story. I still need to do work on her, more embroidery, and to finish this up. But because I was thinking about wearing her on my pocket, I also wanted to show you that's something I've been working on in sort of at the same time, but not really officially, just having a little bit of a play. I've been experimenting with some shapes that could go onto shirts or onto bags or anything I want. And this is on beautiful soft blanket, and I've started to embellish. This is Gabriella's from Miss Rose Sister Violet's fabric that I brought home from Adelaide with me. So it will end up being embellished everywhere. But the idea was that I have a different shirt to take with me on my trip because it's summer. But then I've run out of time. So that led me back to my favorite shirt that I've been wearing now for 18 months, I think. You may have seen me start this one. So it is, I think it's perfect weight for traveling. I always travel with it. It's obviously upcycled. It's a tartan that I love in red and green. But now that I look at it, I've evolved. And that's Fleur's word that she's just used on her newsletter. I think it's really good. So I'll show you how it is now. And we are going to mend and evolve this shirt that I've worn and worn and worn. She's got vintage buttons that I have selected. This one I made this was my first shirt, and I made the mistake of taking the pocket off, and I have regretted that ever since. I could easily have kept the pocket on and embellished it, or had the swan on it, but I didn't, and I miss having a pocket there. So I got this in Richmond. They were the florals that I have at the time. I've learned a lot about placement ever since, but the main thing that's led me to here is, look what has happened to the sleeve. This was a patch I learned this way of patching off Tracy Myers, and on YouTube she has a huge DIY channel, and I copied what she did and I loved it, but the effect is it's the thing that has shown the wear. So that was a patch, so I want to patch that maybe with a difference. This is my favorite cuff, and you've seen me film many times in this. The other cuff has that little bit, and a similar patch over here that has done a lot better. So I am going to take some things off. I'm going to fix this, and we're going to explore the idea of some different fabric on here. So the first thing I'm going to do is, because I have been gardening and harvesting all morning, is I'm going to take this flower off. And I love the idea that we can just remodel things that we've previously made and make them up to date and reflective. So there's nothing wrong with the shirt. People say to me all the time, did you make that? And yes, I did make the things on top of it, but I've moved beyond. It's probably not the right word to say it, but do you know what I mean? I would like to do it differently. It's not as easy as I thought. Can't be bothered to get the quick unpick up out. So I should have done it before, but I wanted you to get the idea. This was at a time where, I didn't know how to back things. I wasn't embroidering at all, so it's all big stitches, which I still use. But I think I've developed my understanding of where I like my flowers now. So of course you better be doing something beside me, because otherwise this is nothing that you're learning and you'll all go fast through it. Sometimes I don't mind. I don't want to cut the shirt itself. This side's easier. It's because I tried to embellish around there. And I was using black thread, which I still like. I wonder if I've got it down close to me. We might get up to that. So it was very much influenced by Tracy's advice. Or, inspiration. And like everything on YouTube, it's great to watch and then try sometimes when it appeals, and then do it a different way, or just keep evolving. Like me and the swan. That swan has come a long way, and she's in the shrine because I like to hang her on my bedroom wall, I think, when I'm not wearing her. I actually thought about making her into a pocket. Did I say that? No, she started off square. Okay, so I was just taking that one off. Look, I'd done virtually no embroidery and it just wasn't in the right place. Now I put that one down. Oh, so you can see where the pocket was. Actually, see, already things come into mind. Not that, but I also have these little embroideries that I found. Okay, so that's off. This too is too big, but I don't mind that flower, so I'll come back to that. But let's just have a look at what I can do here. I think I'm going to just do it the easy way and then embellish over the top. So suffice to say, my kitchen table is still covered with, could I say hundreds? Yeah, I will say hundreds of skeins of wool that has been bound but not packaged, blanket that's been cut, fabric that is ready to be cut. So it does look like a hive of activity. I just haven't done any of that today, and I think I'm going to be better for it. I don't know whether I've shown you this whole shirt, have I? Like, I feel like they're Cherokee Indian. I don't know where they came from. The lady at the local op shop at Robertson just called me up and said, Kate, we've got a jacket in, and I love them there. All right, so I've just pinned that like that. There's a fleur bag. I'm looking at this and thinking of being on the plane with her again. Look at the beautiful bits in there. Just inspiration. Okay, so I'm leaning forward. I've got this dark eleganza that I don't, sliding fleur. I tell you, this pile, you know how I keep saying I'm getting places and then I just move things, and now we're back to 2 feet high at the side. My son has arrived. He's sorting through some of his book collection next door, and he's going to help me tomorrow. So he said, can I do anything now? And I said, no, just enjoy. And then I'll get him to help me do some stuff tomorrow. Let me just check that you can see me. Yep. I just looked at that pen. It's like Danger, Danger, Will Robinson, heading right into that spokey bit. So I'll take that out. I think we've got enough. So it continues to be beautiful. Blue skies and sunshine here. Cold, but I think I said it yesterday. No one minds it if the sun is shining. And see, now because I've evolved, I don't even worry about how straight my stitches are, and I'm using a variegated cotton that I didn't have before, didn't even know about probably at this stage, and I've it's just going in. I probably pulled it in a little bit further, but I'd rather not have it break. So suffice to say, this shirt will be coming with me rather than me starting from scratch. And I can always be adding. I love the idea of a shirt being all our wearables being a story. I want to make a poncho out of Cantha as well. So he's making one, and if I have time to cut it tomorrow, I'd like to take something like that too. So a wearable that, but everyone's telling me that you in the States is very, very hot. And is that silly? So let's start off with the shirt at least, and we'll go from there. I don't have to go around the square because that side is still holding, so I'll just reinforce the corner. as well use the thread up, and it's reinforcing at the same time. So what would I do differently? Now I think I like that I will embellish this piece and put some more little snippets of things on, and I'll change the shape on the front. The back, have I showed you the back? It's just got a very big, I'll show it to you in a minute. And you'll recognize it. It's like, as I just saw that, I thought, wow, I think that was one of the first ever pieces of Sanderson I got. So the back has this big piece on, which I still really like. And in fact, because it is, we are slow stitchers, aren't we? I've got this beautiful, let's put a bit of fluorocate. Okay, so there's my favourite flower that I've always had. It's not always, but do you know what I mean? You've seen me do that many times. And let's link her. Thank you so much for your kindness and your comments about my mum and about the travel, you know, as I've always said. And I was told this, so I'm not the first person to say it, that YouTube stitching community is the kindest. I want to say hello to Karen from Adelaide, and Karen's been in touch because I don't think I've mentioned, we met each other in passing at the craft and quilt fair, and with Gabriella, Karen bought some beautiful pieces and I encouraged her, and then I think Karen went home and somehow worked out that I was Kate in the nest, and has been very kind and messaged me on Instagram since. So hello Karen, and I think you're doing some stitching at the moment, so be encouraged and enjoy. Now the strange thing for me is I'm embroidering here and I haven't got blanket behind me. It just shows it is possible, but unusual. So a little bit in this, let's do a little bit more in the center so that she stands out. I'm truly getting very excited about meeting so many of you who told me that you'll see me in Waco or in Canada or in Wisconsin. That is a thrill. It'll be like a reunion, even though we haven't seen each other. too late. I thought I better make sure I'm not stitching something together. It's only that last stitch. I can feel that. So I'll take the needle out if I can. No. Don't watch, everyone. Just proves it happens to us all. That's not coming back. Right. Oh, that's a sound from my past. My son just sneezed in the room beside me. I wanted to say bless you, even though he's 26. There we go. So that just gets me excited about adding more stitching to the back. And see, probably now I would not use as many leaves as I did there. Okay, let's go back, warming up into it now. And you know, I think it's important to say that, you know, we use what we have, and I think that's a big part of slow stitching, and you know, how we create. I remember getting that from Judy Jane's in Orange. It's this bit here that it's not colourful enough for me. And see, that's why I was thinking I'm not going to put this flower on, but some of that fabric. I wonder if I've got some behind me that would be too organised. I'll tell you what, I got a beautiful order from Judy at Lavender High Tea. Look at these ones. And this, it was a sofa. I got the big pieces, but I'm just looking at these as snippets. Look at that. There's a little posy and dripping down, maybe. I'll sit down in my excitement. So I'll just do a harvest. So, you know what's going through my mind? It's a dark shirt, Kate, and this might be too bright. Fancy me thinking that. What's this little sprig here? Another repeat of that, which I quite like the idea of. For some reason, I'm thinking summer, which is what I'm heading into. And I've got those ready, you know, so it's one of those things, isn't it? Like you're thinking, well, the shirt is dark and you don't want to go too bright, but we can also, I was just standing up to see whether I'm totally out of going crazy. I don't mind that. So if I bought because I put that on after, you see. I think I need some reds. See that? I need some Gabriella fabric. Let me just have a little look. Sorry, that took way too long and I didn't find it. Have I shown you though that that's a fabric of hers I found? It's got birds on it, but which is a wonderful thing, not a but. I mean, I'm not here to show you that one at the moment. Okay, I can see that I could join that onto there with red. I think that bit has to go. Make some blooms. Even that out. It's another thing I've learned to like shape with the, well, I suppose suiting my organic way is not to have squares hanging down. Let me just put a pin in that. So my eyes are seeing, I'll just show you, that this garden now grows up to be part of this. And so we've got the yellow and the green. There's an elephant on there and a train. Would you believe anyway, that's another story. I looked up where it came from. And it was South Africa, I think, even though I found it in New Zealand. I like the idea that there's a little flower there. But I don't like this round bit here. So I'm getting to do how many? Two wearable art workshops while I'm overseas. I'm doing a tote bag in Wearables in Canada, which I'm very excited about, because there's going to be special treasures there, and I'll reveal more about that workshop at a different time. But lucky people, and thank you those of you who have responded, because I didn't know if I had anyone in Canada. I'm being hosted by Shannon, and yeah, just think textile heaven. And then I've got art on the heart in Waco on my very last day. There we are. Same shirt, but it's like I'm making her brighter. And probably more me now. So there's all those beautiful petals. I just feel that one's a bit too big. We'll stitch and join, and those bits can come back and be somewhere else. All right, that's an idea there for that side. What I'll do as well, I may as well show you, because I probably won't have time to film this one again. Yes, I see these threads dangling. Threads, what am I talking about? Stems. I have to say, I think making that swan is just well, no, Vanessa making the swan first and then me learning how to make it afterwards. I just feel creatively sort of excited. And especially now about wearables. Actually, anyway, I won't tell you that, because that's another off the... There we go. And I'll pick red up down here, probably over the purple, to marry that in with that. Okay, the top up here was in my vintage quilt blocks. I think I got those from Beck. And so now I think on that plain black, I am having so much fun. I don't know about you, but I hope you're stitching away and making progress on what you're doing. Hello to the lovely lady who said that she was going to make a hummingbird. That would be very exciting to see. I hope it's going well. So what if we grow the garden one flower at a time? See, there's a beautiful little seed sack there. And I'm not covering anything up, honouring the seed sac. But like I love to do, that can now come up over the shoulder and be a little pop. You watch, I'll be wanting to do this tonight, won't I? Yep. And now let's go over here. So have a look at that. So we're taking shape. Just one piece of fabric can be the joining piece. Okay, what do I want to do here? Well, I have learned that while I love script, keeping it in a straight line down there is not so much my favourite anymore. So I think it says antique and antique. So let's start off with a harvest. I don't mind these leaves. Of course, how fussy do I sound? I love these leaves, and I'm not a judge of, who am I to judge someone who cleverly designed this fabric. And see now, in my evolved way, or evolving actually, I had this, I've been really inspired by Fleur's newsletter. So there we are, same piece, but instead of like that, let's take it I always feel sad that nothing can be seen when when it's cold and I have my sleeves down. So there we go. Maybe it could just, let me slip my arm in. In here. It's much nicer to have it here. I always like to try things on, just so that you don't put it in the wrong spot. And I reframed all of this. But I'm just thinking, unless I had it on there, then it'd have to go like that. No. I just think somewhere around there. Yep. Now let's go back to this side. So see, already I think that's better because I have a more natural shape. Maybe I don't have to, I do think it goes down too far, but maybe more is more, Kate. Okay, so you've got, hang on now, I've forgotten which button goes in which. It's a great shirt. I'm hoping to spy some more American style. We don't have, I think you call them button downs or button ups. We don't seem to have well, we have them, but we don't have the variety that you do, nor the quality of the fabric. Okay, so we've got that happily up there. You can see that this one's a long way down. So a lot of stitching on that one. So why don't we, instead of spending time watching me unpick that, we've got flowers up there. Let's put a little bit of this over on here. What have I got left from harvesting? Have I used them? I can't have used them all up. When all else fails, find another scrap. Gosh, this is a long video. This is because I like hanging out with you so much when I'm in my nest. It's just such happy times. I'm happy outside as well, but as I said, I have to look at the things I have to do, which are totally worth it. That one. Got a little bit of a yellow rose here. I'll leave that little purple bud on there. We need some of the yellow. Hang on, let me take the layers off that I erased again. And not lose my swan. I've got that bird that I brought back from, oh, now she's said it. You don't need the white of the swan, but look at those colours. Maybe not the lime greens. This was a beautiful trim brought along by one of the ladies when we were in Nelson, and many of us used it. It's pretty. Okay, let's just get rid of the scraps. Oh, let's not forget I've got that. I've got that. I've got a little bit over the flower. And that's right, I was coming over to the sleeve. We'll worry about that bit later. I think we sort of need the flower and the bird. Might pop up in an unusual place. I think that's not the right spot for it. Could actually even pop up in this garden. Now I said that was too low. Maybe. Even something like that might save me. I need to try it on to work that out. I don't need that brown leaf. It's not bringing me joy. just start a story on this page. If I go back to where I'm meant to be, I would like a flower like that. And please know that won't stay square. Nor will that bit under there, but you can't see that at the moment. Oh, I like that. There's that yellow rose. We could put them together. Oh, look at this. Judy said it was so frayed. Look at that. Oh, that's yummy. It's frayed and faded, which really goes with the look. Somehow over here, the garden goes over the patch. It's probably too much altogether. So I'm not going to do that in a hurry. Oh, there's that pretty little flower. I need the yellow. Have you got time? I really haven't, but it's, oh, I need a little yellow flower scrap, not the roses. Might have used them all. It's another beautiful bit. Look at that. Actually, that's like a pocket. Okay, look at the mess I've got myself into. My friends, I think I should stop. Because I think that needs to be the pop there. And then I want yellow on another part. So the play will continue. But for now, let's see if we can get a little bit of the story scrunched in. Thank you so much for being with me as I've played, as I've evolved the shirt that had that on it and was a bit dull. Look at all these. Look, I've got bits on there. Don't want to see that. I'll give her a gentle dressing up before she comes on holidays with me. Okay. Sorry it's messy. Does that give you an idea? Oh yeah, we can go there. Then you can see that bit as well. All right, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Take care, have a lovely weekend. It probably won't be too long before I'm back, and then I'll be gone. See you later. Bye.